All right, guys, let's get started. Thank you for attending how to navigate the Orange County market and what to see for 2023. So the topics we're going to be covering today, how to compete as a buyer in this competitive market, getting top dollar as a seller, how to utilize a 1031 exchange, tips for first-time home buyers, what a local agent can and should do for you, and how to make your offer stand out amongst the rest in this competitive market. So for those that aren't familiar with Marshall Reddick and what we do, I'd like to take a quick minute and debrief. Marshall Reddick, we're pretty unique in our approach. We operate as a real estate broker and property management company nationwide. We're in a few states such as Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and California. And for the purpose of this webinar, we're going to be obviously talking about Orange County market. But lastly, we operate as a private money lender, and then we also have an investment fund that we manage as well. So some of us have looked at us as a one-stop shop for your investing needs, whether you need a hard money loan, a property to either buy or sell, or invest in a fund. For those that don't know me, my name's Evan. I'm obviously the one chatting. And I've helped assist over 100 million plus in transactions within my 5 years of doing real estate. I own multiple investment properties out of state. I'm a certified real estate financing model guru, and I'm obviously a licensed California realtor. Joining me tonight as well, I got Tyler Dagler here. Tyler Dagler, we work in the same office. He's a great colleague, and he's done over 30 million in volume. He's going to be touching base more along the lines of the market in general and what to expect in a forecast for 2023. So we're going to hear a little bit more of him later on. But Tyler is a great agent that has a ton of reviews. We'll be diving in. You guys are going to have some good information to hear a little bit more with Tyler. And since we're on that subject, since the purpose of the webinar is in discussions to the Orange County market, this is our lovely staff here supporting you guys' needs from either obviously brokerage stuff to property management and our back-end support. So this is our lovely staff here. Since we're discussing the importance of the Orange County market, I think it's important to know who you are working with. And Marshall Reddick, this is just our California Newport Beach branch that we're showing here, but we've done about 49 sales in the last 12 months. We have over 361 reviews. Why does this matter? Well, it's important to work with a trusted agent like Tyler and I, who know how to navigate a transaction. Every transaction is different, every client is different, and every situation is different. So 9 times out of 10, we've either seen a scenario and we can help navigate your current needs and wants in particular transactions to make sure that we get across the finish line. And and just in addition to the last slide and further explaining why it's important and know who you're working with, we've done over 849 transactions with our finger on the pulse of Orange County in particular. We've ventured out in LA and also Riverside County as well. And we're going to be diving into more of asset classes and looking more closely towards the market as a whole. And I have Tyler here talking a little bit more about the property classes and as to why they matter. Tyler, without further ado.
Thank you, Evan. Good evening, everyone. Tyler Dagler here. Nice to meet you. Just kind of going back to my intro slide, I have my Bachelor of Science in Information Analysis, Financial Information Analysis. And I like to just bring that up because I want to point out that a lot of time and effort has gone into me learning how to read, analyze, and interpret financial data. And so that's what I'm going to be bringing to the presentation tonight is we're going to look at the market, and I'm going to give my forecasts on what I think is going to happen next year and what opportunities that presents, right? So just touching and looking at Orange County here, going back to 97, you can see this market overall has been a very appreciative market. We've had down years as the real estate industry has as a whole, but more over than not, you can see that it's been a really good market to invest in over time, right? And this property classes, this is a book that Marshall Reddick wrote that allows you as an investor to compare potential investments to median statistical average investments, and it will allow you to get a forecast on what kind of experience you will have with your investment from a landlord perspective. It's an easy read. It's about 42 pages. If anyone on here wants a free copy, just let us know in the feedback and I'll make sure that we get one over to you. All right, let's talk about Orange County. Thank you guys again for being here tonight. I know there's a lot of things that we could all be doing, and I appreciate people who are just as interested in the real estate market as I am, right? So thank you guys for being here. I'm really excited to get to talk to you guys about this stuff. All right, let's talk about Orange County. So you can see here, and I know everyone here has been watching the news, you've been reading the Wall Street Journal. We've seen the effect that the rise in interest rates have had on the real estate market, and Orange County is no different. There are deltas, and we're going to discuss that. And just looking at this, we can see the prices have dipped down since rates really started rallying earlier in the year. Even with these rate hikes, Orange County is still up about 12% year over year. Last year, we appreciated just under 21%. So home prices on average, we're seeing about a 10% decline, but we're still up year over year. Leading metros like Austin, Miami, places like this, we're seeing dips in the 25 to 30% range. So Orange County compared to other large metros, kind of indicating markets across the US, continues to show its strength. And until people no longer like perfect weather and the beach and access to nearly anything within a half-hour drive, we're going to continue to see this market to be extremely strong, especially now since COVID has happened and work from home has become a thing. We're now getting an influx of people from outside Orange County coming in and purchasing. I just sold a 7-figure home in San Clemente. The majority of people coming to my open houses were not from Orange County. I saw a lot of Utah, a lot of Canada, a lot of San Francisco, right? So this market now being open to people just outside of, it used to be us and our neighbors competing. It's now open to a lot bigger market, and we're seeing that in the demand, right? So this market continues to be strong, and we're going to get into why that matters for my next year prediction, right? So in order to get to where I believe we're going, I want to briefly touch on where we've been, because I think that that's super important, right? So if we look at this purple line, this is active listing inventory, and from left to right, the time frame is a year, January to December. Purple line is 2019. This line is extremely indicative of the average real estate market cycle that we see here in Orange County, right? We start off with a lower inventory. We come into spring, inventory starts creeping up. Our inventory maxes out in the summer, and then it slowly declines as we get into the holiday season. And then it picks up next year and does the same thing. That is how this market typically acts if we look at like a 20 to 30 year data set, right? Now, if we look at 2020, very much the same shape. However, we can see the inventory is incredibly decreased. This was when COVID hits and the Fed drops the rate to nearly zero. All of a sudden, more people can afford and inventory gets eaten up. Yet we can see that the market cycle maintained the same shape generally, right? Going into 2021 last year, again, we have a very similar curve in our charting here. Inventory was quite a bit less, and we all remember what the market was like last year. Nearly nothing on the market and 50 offers on everything. But the curve of consumer behavior was still quite similar. Now we come into this year, 2022. And we can see behavior changing. Beginning of the year, inventory started off almost abysmal, like barely 1,000 homes for sale in Orange County, which is crazy when you consider that we have something like 3.1 million people. It started acting semi-normal, like always, starting to creep up here in the summer, and then, or in the spring, my apologies. And then you can see when we hit summer, boom, the Fed gets super aggressive on rates, and rates are shooting up into the sevens. All of a sudden, demand nearly drops. Consumers stop purchasing homes because A, they're like, what the heck is going on? I don't know what's going to happen. And B, a lot of consumers got knocked out of the market because they can no longer afford. So all of a sudden, you can see inventory start shooting up. It gets higher than it ever did in 2021, and it's creeping up here on 2020, right? And as we come into the fall, right, we got a little bit of rate relief. And then that's where you can see that inventory dipping down a little bit because demand goes back up, people start closing on homes. We level out a little bit. And then over the last couple of weeks, we've had a little bit more rate relief. And we can see that demand has caused that inventory to start dropping a little bit, right? Sorry. Okay, and so what we're seeing here, right? Inventory as it sits right now is up 56% year over year, right? So we have 56% more homes available right now than we did at this time last year. Yet compared to where inventory sat, the 3-year average prior to COVID, we're still 63% down. And the reason that inventory is drastically dipping here, right, is that a lot of people, something like 75% of people in Orange County refied to a rate of 4 or less during the pandemic pricing. Something like 50% of those people are below a 3.5, and like 35% people are at a 3 or less. And because of these incredibly low rates, these people were able to get these refinanced 30-year mortgages on. Their monthly payments are incredibly affordable compared to what they could get for that money now. And this trend, I believe, is going to continue for quite some time. When you look at the average home pricing in Orange County, right now sitting at about $1,040,000, the delta on a monthly payment and a rate between 3 and 6.5% where we sit today is massive. And this is going to keep our inventories really low. And you can kind of get an idea when you look year over year here at the expected market time. So if you generally look in this like 1 million range, right around where our average is, last year from the time that you listed a home for sale to the day when you accepted a contract and went to escrow, it was like 13 days, 2 weeks, right? So that's 1 weekend to open houses, a second weekend just to get some backup offers, 2 days of negotiation, and boom, you're in escrow. Today, we're creeping up on 2.5 months, which was far more normal but before COVID hit and all of a sudden everyone could afford, right? So the market is slowing down. So what does this mean for next year? Where are we going? in order for me to get there, I want to explain to you guys what the Fed is doing, why they're doing it, and what they're going to be looking at as we move through 2022. And based on how these numbers come out, this is going to cause the Fed to go one way or another with their interest rates. And interest rates have direct correlations to supply and demand in Orange County. As interest rates go up, inventory goes up. As interest rates go down, inventory goes down. Because as interest rates go up, demand goes down, more homes stay on the market. And as interest rates go down, demand goes up, more people are buying, thus bringing inventory down. So the Fed's decision on rate is going to impact the market. I'm going to tell you how and why I think that's going to happen, but I want you to understand so that over the next, call it 4 weeks in this year, 5 weeks, you guys can keep an eye on what's happening in the economy, and you can start to get a feel for what opportunities it presents to you. Okay, so let's talk about the JOLTS report, Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. This report at a high level shows how many open jobs there are in the US economy. Okay, and actually, before we even get there, I want you guys to just look at this right here, average hourly earnings. This is what the Fed is attacking right now. They're not coming after real estate with their interest rate hikes. We're all real estate nerds and investors. That's all we think about and look at. So of course, when rates move, it affects our world dramatically. But the Fed is not after real estate. They are after the average hourly earnings, how much you, me, and everybody else are getting paid an hour. They want that number to go down. I'm going to show you why and why it matters for real estate. But I just want you guys to understand that that's what the Fed's attacking. They're not trying to ruin our portfolios. They're after earnings. Okay, so looking at this job opening and labor turnover survey, this is the report that shows how many unfulfilled jobs are available in the US. Now, before COVID, at any given time, there was something like 7 million open jobs. Right now, we have 11 million open jobs. We have too many jobs. There are more jobs than there are skilled labor to fill them. When there are more jobs than there are people to fill them, that means that the jobs must raise how much they're willing to pay, because there's only so many people that can fill the jobs, and there's more jobs than people. This is what causes wage inflation. So when there's too many jobs, employers have to pay extra to attract the right talent, and that creates wage inflation. Okay, wage inflation creates spending. It increases spending. When more people are spending, prices go up and we see inflation. So this, if you guys are taking notes at home, and again, I will make sure that everybody gets a copy of this, but if you're taking notes, this is a survey that you want to follow for the remainder of the year, okay? The Fed wants to see this number going down. And I'm going to explain to you guys why. This is the next report I want you guys to be watching, initial jobless claims. This report shows how many jobs are ended at the end of each month, i.e. layoffs, they're cutting positions at companies, eliminating roles from the company payroll altogether. Now, the Fed doesn't necessarily want you to lose your job, but they do want to see people losing their jobs. The reason for this is that when more people lose their jobs, the unemployment rate goes up. The Fed, as part of their strategy to curb inflation, wants to see the unemployment rate, my apologies, I'm getting all excited here. They want to see the unemployment rate go up. The reason for that is that if there are more people without jobs, those people will then have to come and start eating up this number of surplus jobs available in the market, right? So the Fed's raising rates, to make it more expensive for companies to do business. Thus, companies lay people off. When companies lay people off, the unemployment rate goes up. When the unemployment rate goes up, there are more people to eat up these excess jobs. As the excess jobs are eaten up, wage inflation will come down. When wage inflation comes down, people are getting paid less, spending goes down. When spending goes down, companies must reduce their prices in order to make it attractive for people to buy. And when companies reduce their prices, inflation comes down. That is what the Fed is trying to accomplish right now. It's not to attack real estate, though real estate is affected, but what they are trying to do is get this number, the average hourly earning number, down so that the consumer stops spending and then prices come down, thus reducing inflation. Now, we've seen here over, the past couple weeks, we've had some rate relief. What happened the last month or two of each of these reports, the numbers have started looking like the Fed's plan is working, at least to them, right? We're seeing unemployment creep up a little. We're seeing jobs creep down a little bit. It's showing that we're heading in the right direction. And because we're heading in that direction, the Fed pivoted a little bit and rates came down a little bit. And then as rates came down, demand went up, more real estate transactions happened and prices started, they stopped dropping as much in the last few weeks. So the next time Fed's meeting is on the 15th of December. And they're going to, what they want to see is a continued trend of the last few reports. All evidence that we can see so far, most of these reports haven't come out for the month, but most of the evidence shows that inflation is still cooling. Next unemployment report comes out Friday, so we're all excited to see what that looks like, but it appears that it's cooling, so it's starting to work. So for the rest of the year, what happens, right? First and foremost, we got to watch the 15th, and we're going to see what the Fed does. If the reports are coming in better than they expected, and again, they don't know yet either, right? They put these strategies in place to try to influence economic behavior, but we don't know how the economy behaved until we get the data. But if it comes in where they want it to, I believe that they will either stay where they are, or I think that they might even give us one more kick in the teeth. I think they might want to kick the economy one more time. We're coming into the holiday season. This is traditionally a time where consumers spend a lot, and they may want to curb it just one last time to really get it in our minds to slow down. If the numbers come in better than expected, maybe we could even see a little relief going into spring, but I don't think so. We're going to get into prediction time here. My prediction is that on the 15th, I think they're going to kick us one more time, maybe 50 basis points. It's not going to be a huge hit. We're sitting at about a 6.5 today on the stuff that's closing today right now. The single family home 20% down, FICO over 720, where it's about a 6.5. I think they kick it up one more time, and then coming into the year, I'm going to use this slide, this is not what this slide shows, but this shape is what I want you to see. Look at this orange line right here. I think this is what interest rates are going to do leading up to whenever the Fed decides that their plan is done and we're here. I think we're going to see it tick up a little, and then it's going to go down a little. Then it's going to go up a little, and it's going to go down a little. It's going to go up a little, and it's going to go down a little. The whole time getting lower and lower and lower. Because their strategy is working, I believe they're going to start backing off the rates and giving the economy a little bit of relief. Now, right now, like I said, we're sitting at about 6.5. the economy is still humming, right? There are still buyers buying it, even though a lot of people have been knocked out. Like, the economy is still going well. And prior to COVID, we were sitting 6%, 6.25%, and the demand was just fine. I do not believe the Fed takes this down any lower than a 5 in the upcoming year. I really don't. I think it will peter down to 5.5-ish land, maybe a little bit less through the year. But as the rate goes down, demand is going to settle, pricing is going to settle, and then demand will start to creep back up, and prices are going to creep back up here in Orange County. There is a lot of pent up demand right now. I'm speaking to hundreds of people a week who have a ton of money that they're sitting on, and they're just waiting until they feel safe, and then, and whatever their strategy may be, a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines. As soon as we start seeing economic relief and settling, I think demand is going to creep back up, especially as rates start coming down. Demand and pricing is going to go back up in Orange County. So my personal prediction, and I just you know, full disclosures and fine print, all that stuff. My prediction is my prediction. I can't guarantee this is what's going to happen. This is based on me studying and being a data nerd for years and years and years, and analyzing, and this is where I believe the market and how the market will act next year. I think that the best deals are going to happen between now and February 1st. I think the Fed is gonna kick us a little bit more on the 15th, which is going to raise rates a little. That is going to raise pricing. It's going to knock people out. It's going to make it more expensive to buy. The people that need to sell between now and February 1st, they're not selling for fun. They're not selling because they want to change the way their yard looks. They're selling because they need to. These people are downsizing, they're upsizing, they're moving. They'll be selling in a market with the least amount of demand in the next 18 to 24 months, in my opinion. Thus, between now and February 1st, I believe will be the best buyer's market coming up for the foreseeable future. It's because things will be expensive, and there's still going to be a lot of people sitting on the sidelines. My savvier investors right now are all purchasing. We're getting a lot of closing cost credit. We're getting price decreases. We're getting rate buy downs. New construction, I'm seeing free appliances and blinds and upgraded floors. Haven't seen that in years. Because the inventory that needs to move now, and the buyer pool is going to be at its lowest. So that creates the best opportunity for buyers, in my opinion, will be between now and February 1st. Traditionally, the spring market is the hottest real estate market. It's also one of the hottest consumer spending markets as well. My guess is that the Fed will bring relief as we come into these spring markets, where most people traditionally want to start ramping up spending, and they'll give the economy a nice boost. And 2023 will look nice on their paper. I think that once we get into spring, we're going to see rate relief, and this is what will bring more buyers back to the market. It will also bring more sellers back to the market, because a lot of people who want to sell can't, because they can't afford to buy on the backside. So as these rates come down, I think we'll see some more inventory. I think we're going to see more buyers in the market. I think it's going to stabilize pricing, and I think pricing will actually start ticking back up as we head into fall. Fall traditionally has been the time when the market starts cooling and gets cold about this time in winter. I think next year we'll have a hotter fall and a hotter winter than traditionally. The reason for that is pent-up demand and consumer spending behavior. A lot of consumers are not going to bite the bullet until they have a couple months of data showing them that pricing is stabilized and increased, and rates are stabilizing and dropping. This is that, oh my God, it's okay, it's safe to head back in investor. And I think that those people will come about end of summer, coming into fall, which will heat up the end of the year more than we're typically used to. Like I said, the 30-year average on interest rates in Orange County, if you were to take the average interest rate every single year for the past 30 years, the average is 6.6. Today we're at 6.5. We're below the 30-year average. I do think that it will creep back down a little bit, like I said, but not a lot. So yeah, so that guys is my 2023 prediction. Best time to purchase is gonna for a deal, if you're looking to get incentives and price dropping and making a deal, will be between now and February 1st. If you are ultra price sensitive to the monthly payments, you know, first home, starter home position, so on and so forth, I think spring is going to be a really good time for you, because rates will be, my prediction is rates will be coming down, yet the majority of the market isn't going to feel comfortable enough yet to dive in. Coming into fall, I think it's going to be fairly hot and competitive. And I think it will taper off a bit in the winter, but I think the winter will still be pretty hot. And I think 2024 spring is gonna be, I think we're gonna be right back to maybe not, you know, our 20% a year appreciation schedule, but we're gonna be right back on the map of an appreciating real estate market in Orange County by that point. So if any of you guys on here are here to buy a home, and I know a number of you are, I called everybody that I could who has signed up before we did this. You know, there's going to be some absolute opportunities for you coming up. And, you know, this is just a list of the things that we do to help people find homes. But, you know, in my opinion, any realtor worth their salt should be doing everything on this list to begin with. What you get when you work with us are people who really understand what we're doing. And we pride ourselves on level 11 customer service. We answer our phones, unlike a lot of people in this industry. We're highly educated, highly professional, highly experienced. And, you know, going back to the reviews, I would challenge anyone on here to go onto Google and search their, you know, whatever other brokers you guys might be considering working with, and see if they have anywhere near the number of reviews or the type of reviews that we have. Because we can talk about what we do all day, but our clients really love and support us. And that's a rare thing in an investment industry, for there to be so much passion for who you're working with. And that comes from us doing a really good job. And we're really pumped on that. So if anyone here thinking about buying a house, I'd love to help you guys do it. And just a quick touch on conventional financing. This is our in-house lender, Reed. Reed not only owns real estate in Orange County, but he owns a lot of investment properties in our other markets as well. He's really tuned in to helping our clients have a really good experience and win. I can tell you, when we were back in, you know, early 2021, where we're going 30, 40 offers on any given property, I won several times because the listing agent knew Reed, because they had done deals together in the past and knows that he knows what he's doing, right? So when you are shopping Orange County is a small town, and who you know really helps. And so that's why we partner with Reed, and just want you guys to know that we take that part of the business super seriously. And, you know, we'll help you guys get pre-approved. We'll get your pre-approval letters, and then we'll start analyzing deals. And just like us, Reed has a lot of awesome customer testimonials. He does a really good job, and people really like working with him. If anyone on this call would like for me to set you up a call with one of my clients to hear what working with me and Reed was like for them, I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave that in the feedback on your notes, okay, guys? Here's Reed's information. If you guys want to take a quick snapshot, again, I will shoot this out, but wanted to make sure you guys know that you have this. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble on about market data. I drowned a lot of people to death in tears and boredom when I talk about this stuff. So it's nice to have a group of you guys on here who find as much interest in it as I do. That's super special to me and I appreciate it. With that, I'm going to bring back Evan, who's going to talk about the other side of the market, selling properties. Evan, thank you so much, bud.
Tyler, thank you. Getting ready to sell. There's a lot of nuances as kind of what Tyler just went over, you know, in particular on the buy side, but, you know, switching over to the sell side, selling can be very, very overwhelming. And we've kind of put together a little checklist here. You know, we've created a checklist to obviously help you put your mind at ease when you are ready to sell. However, we usually like to do a site visit, explain the process in a little bit more detail, maybe determine if any repairs or renovation is needed, give you our 2 cents of what buyers are looking for in today's market, and to see if there's any motivation to maybe spruce up the property, and kind of go from there, and kind of really just to develop a game plan of the process. So setting a list date to list the property. If you're needing any vendors such as painters or carpet cleaners, or, you know, installing maybe new countertops, we can help kind of spearhead that whole process with you. As mentioned earlier, you know, we do property management, so we work with a lot of vendors that we can get you really good pricing on, and kind of just help spearhead that whole process so that you guys are left at ease. And, you know, 3 tips for sellers that, you know, we kind of hear over and over again, and kind of just beat it with a dead horse is deep clean and declutter your home. This market is super challenging right now. Obviously, Tyler mentioned that homes are kind of taking a little bit longer and sitting on the market a little bit longer compared to earlier this year, where you can list a home and it's in escrow within 24 hours. Well, things are kind of have obviously changed, and, you know, first impressions now are everything. And what I can say is obviously looking at current information to determine the value of your home. Things are changing week by week, and it's important that you're working with an agent that is in tune with the market, with the data, and coming up with a game plan if things don't work out the way they should. So being realistic with your list price and time frame. Every seller has certain motivations of when they want to sell. Maybe some are realistic compared to others, but what typically Tyler and I like to do is, when we meet with you guys and go over your game plan, your motivation, we usually like to provide 3 different list price for you guys. And those come in a 30, a 60, and a 90-day action plan that we create for you guys. So if you're calling us to say, hey, Tyler, Evan, we need to sell within 30 days, well, we're gonna have to be a little bit more realistic with your list price. So let's say your home's worth $1 million. That's what neighborhood comps are going for. You know, we might have to be a little bit more realistic to generate attention, eyeballs to the property, and tours scheduled for your property to generate offers. So maybe we list at $899 to get the traffic through. You know, that's not a price that we're necessarily going to sell at, but it's a price enough that is going to draw attention so that you can be realistic with your time frame, so that we can boost that $899 list tag up to $1 million. So we provide certain scenarios on a 30, 60-day action plan. I hope that was a little bit more of an example. But if you have questions on that, we can go over that a little bit more in depth after the webinar. Another question we get a lot when meeting with sellers is, should I renovate and update or just sell as is? If you have the funds to renovate, of course, we always recommend doing so. Even just painting. Painting goes it goes a lot to say the least. And you know, if the market is in favor of sellers, then increasing your home's value by renovating might be the right move. But I will say decluttering and painting go very, very far, and especially in this market. You know, a lot of people, a lot of buyers are wanting things newer, modern. There's a saying that I always tell sellers is, you know, people pay for perfect. So if you can make your house perfect, and if you need help doing so, what items to fix and update, we're more than happy to meet with you guys, so that you're not spending the money in areas that are not necessarily gonna net you top dollar. So, you know, again, since we are a management company, we can help you kind of source good vendors in your particular area that we've worked with in the past that can give you guys good good pricing as well. So if you are interested in that after the webinar, feel free to drop in feedback after, and we can help you get in touch with the right crew. Now, our marketing plan for your property, these are a set tips, or not even really tips, but kind of an action plan that all agents should really be doing, and we will be doing. But to add to that, we do a mailing campaign surrounding your whole community. We do a brokers open, inviting the brokers, showcasing your home, and also it being advertised out to their buyers. We do a calling campaign around the community as well. A lot of neighbors always have friends and family that want to live by them, and that has been a tremendous amount of success for us in the past. But also too, a lot of agents don't do professional photography, and that is like our number one thing, is showcasing your home in the best light, where you always get those people, that buyers especially, that are just sitting on Zillow and just scrolling through their phones. And you know, it's hard to notice when you got one piece of property that looks and shows great in photos, and versus another one that, you know, you could tell it was taken on an iPhone. So showcasing your home in the best light in terms of photography and videography, we can show you past examples of what we mean by that if you guys are interested in what we do. But twilight shots, having all the lights on in the house, and you know, again, I know I've kind of hammered this out, but decluttering. Photos show everything, and if we can just declutter that space in the time being for photos, that works wonders. So that is our marketing plan, to say the least. And you know, just to kind of add to that, just to say the least, communication, that is a big thing for us, is providing feedback to you guys on a bi-weekly basis. So Tuesdays and Fridays is our updates with our sellers, providing them how many showings have taken place, how many calls, how many inquiries that have taken place on your home. Because when your home is now listed on the market, it kind of becomes a product. So we give you the facts and details and feedback twice a week, so that we can assess the next move on where we need to alter our game plan. Now, I like to kind of switch gears. It's kind of mentioning more along the lines of a traditional seller, but I kind of want to dive a little bit more in depth of maybe potential investors on the call tonight. I talk a little bit more about the 1031 guidelines and requirements. So for those that are not familiar with a 1031 exchange, a 1031 exchange is a swap of one real estate investment for another that allows capital gains taxes to be deferred. So if you are selling an investment property and you want to find an up leg, maybe you want to buy more expensive property, this is your chance to do so. It's great tax advantages that you can save to upleg to a better, maybe higher producing cash flow property. If you purchase a property equal to or greater than the net sales price and spend all the cash and replace the debt, you can do so. There is timelines that you do have to meet. You have 45 days to identify a replacement property. And of that, you have 180 calendar days to complete the exchange. There is a traditional 1031 that you can do that does this. And then what most people don't know is there's reverse 1031 exchange. So a reverse 1031 exchange is obviously doing it in reverse. You're going to meet with a 1031 accommodator. And if you need help finding one, we can give you a recommendation. But you're going to meet with a 1031 accommodator first. You're going to identify a property first, close on it with the accommodator, and then sell your downlay property in the same timelines as the traditional 1031 exchange. So the 45 days to identify, 180 days to close. You know, one of the main ways that people get into trouble with these transactions is failing to consider loans. So if you have a debt on the property, you have to exchange that same debt with your upleg. So you must consider mortgage loans or other debt on the property that you relinquish, as well as any debt on the replacement. If you don't receive cash back, but your liability goes down, then that also will be treated as income, just like cash. So just wanted to kind of hammer that home. But if you guys are in need and have been maybe thinking about maybe selling your California or Orange County property and into any of our our markets, we can help you do that as well. So where to begin? As Tyler and I mentioned, you know, about the Orange County market, you know, we can help you set up a call together and we can kind of go through your action plan and maybe tailor an action plan together that is suited to what you guys are looking to achieve. So, you know, we can help you set up a consultation with us, and we can determine your must-haves, your wants, your can't-haves, and more importantly, create an action plan that is tailored towards your goals. So if anything in tonight's webinar that interests you about buying or selling, this is our information down below. Again, my name is Evan, and earlier on the call, Tyler Dagler. This is our information. Feel free to set up a consultation by either calling us or emailing us at your convenience. And I just want to say thank you guys for attending tonight's webinar. I hope this was informative, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Tyler, you want to mention anything last?
I want to thank you guys for your time. We appreciate you, and we'll be giving everybody a follow-up call in the upcoming week. If anyone has any questions, just let us know, and we look forward to chatting. Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, take care.